Welcome to Wedding Day Podcast with your hosts, Sonja Babich, CEO of Iron Diamond Media, a leading wedding resource featuring 7 localized wedding brands across the country.
Hi everybody, Sonja here with Wedding Day Podcast. We are here in the beautiful Hummingbird Ranch in California. My co-host today is Lara Burnap, my Editorial Director.
It is great to be here, and I'm so excited. Today we are speaking with the amazing Alan Dunn of Très L.A.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Alan has quite the story. It's fascinating and also very well respected, just in general in the wedding industry.
Thank you.
In California and just
The hospitality industry as a whole.
Yes. And so we actually feel really honored that you're here today, honestly. But yeah, your journey's been really cool. Like you traveled Europe, right, and Asia for a year before you even started the business.
I mean, when I was a spring chicken.
Yeah.
I was just finished college, and I just knew that I grew up in Dallas. I knew that I didn't want to go into get a job. So I sold my car, bought a one-way ticket to Paris, and I was actually with some friends at first, and then we split up after maybe 3 months. Everybody just wanted to go their own way. So I wound up, being gone for a little over a year and just had the best adventure solo. And it was great. And it was just seeing Europe and Asia, and it was phenomenal. So it shaped me for sure.
And then Très L.A. Launched in 2003.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And what an endeavor.
I'm an OG. I'm an OG, yeah.
Yeah. You are an OG, yes, because you founded the company.
I did. I was, I wound up I actually went to a theater school in New York when I got back.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
That was not in the details.
Yes, okay. Well, I don't share that all the
excited we
time just because it's not
I
a
can
part of
see
my life.
why, Alan.
It turns out I was not a very good actor, but I loved theater, and so I stayed in New York for 5 or 6 years after school, and then, if I wanted to be serious about acting, I needed to move to Los Angeles. So,
City of Dreams.
Yes. This is where it happens for actors, anyway. But so moved out here, and then of course did whatever I had to do to survive, and I was working, just kind of doing whatever, cater, waiter, and then I'd actually done some bartending and management in New York, and then got a job at the Standard Hotel, which is no longer there, but and just kind of worked my way up at the Standard as a manager, F&B manager, and then they asked me to come to their sister property, the Chateau Marmont. There was an opening there. In fact, my buddy was the F&B director, and he was promoted to GM, and said, "Do you want to come take my place?" And I said, "Sure." So I was there for many years, and it was just such a great experience. I mean, all of the people that I met, the people, industry people for events, and just
Such a storied location.
I mean, it's been
Chateau Marmont.
so inspiring to me in so many different ways. Not just because at the time, I must say, the hospitality part of it was non-existent. I mean, it was really Matthew McConaughey walking around with his pajama bottoms on and brushing his teeth in the lobby and cooking up his own steak at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's just the way it was. And it was so beautiful. It was so it was almost like the secret celebrities were there. It wasn't like what it is now, which is it's also beautiful and incredible. But back in the day, it was very much I felt like the cooler, Hunter Thompson, or, just all the writers and J.J. Abrams, and of course the cool celebrities too were there, and just got to know them on a more personal level. And even Matthew McConaughey, we're both from Texas, and so we got a pretty good rapport and bet, on football games, and just
he loves football.
He loves, funny enough, he loves the Washington Redskins.
That's so random.
It's so
How
random.
How is he not a Cowboys fan?
I have no idea.
Is that allowed?
But his favorite team
sacrilege.
is the In Austin.
Longhorns.
Yeah, the Longhorns.
Yeah. So he's a
Or
big
is that the
Longhorns
Longhorns
fan.
side?
I don't know why he's a Commanders fan, but he was, and we'd bet on, it's kind of when the Cowboys owned Washington too, so he'd always lose, and it'd always be a case of beer, So, but he really good person. But anyway, just like kind of collectively meeting a lot of people like that, and then they would ask me to do their birthday party outside of the hotel, or a wedding for Selma Blair, or just something that would be, outside, a birthday party, a private event. And so, I was working really hard, and I thought I could probably make a pretty good go of this on my own. And so I started Très L.A. in 2003. So with like a ton of people, a ton of goodwill that I had from the Chateau. In fact, I kind of recruited all of my Chateau chefs and a lot of the good servers and all of that, and so
So they were probably all excited too because they loved working together. So like, let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a really, really, really good family. It was like, now it's this institution that's, I mean, it's always been an institution, but it's like this big business that's like super busy, like probably 3 times as busy as it was when I was there. And it's a different level of service. I think a much better level of service, much better food than we had. But there was something fun and beautiful about just like the looseness of people, like, fun Sam Rockwell, walking through the lobby with his fuzzy slippers and just having like 50 people over from his set, and just like, I remember one time he had a little get together, and it's like these guys are at the piano, and everybody's singing together, and it's like all the guys from Radiohead. So
nice.
It was fun.
That sounds amazing.
Incredibly name droppy, and I'm
no,
not
you don't.
normally
It's
like
Chateau
that.
Marmont.
But
that's what happens there.
Yeah, but anyway, so
I worked at E at the time, and I used to go there to do, get my celeb sightings and get some French fries.
Yeah.
They
still have good French fries.
Really?
Yeah,
They're really
yeah,
good.
So
Yeah.
But anyway, so I started Très L.A. It was, I think I had a leg up because it was almost like I had like a
built-in,
like a rich dad or something that was like promoting it, but it wasn't. It was just all of the people that I knew and that knew me and that knew that I did good events and stuff, and they wanted me to do, like I said, their birthday or wedding.
You'd proven yourself. They knew they could trust you. They knew that you could deliver.
Yeah, and it was just all of like the little details that they knew that I was so keen on, like, getting right.
Yes.
So yeah.
Where has, like, since like 2003, you've seen all the changes of hospitality and catering?
I feel like Très L.A. has had like 3 or 4 different lifetimes. There's been 3 or 4 different iterations of Très L.A. And when I started, it was all about like having very superficial, like super polished staff, super good looking, like cool outfits and everything, beautiful presented food.
It's also the time.
It was the time. It was the time. It was like, mid 2000s, mid aughts. And it was like, that's what people wanted. It's like, it was more important to have like the vibe and the, for a Katy Perry launch party or a Diddy White party or something like that. It's not about like the food. It's about like who's serving the food,
Right.
So so we did a lot of that, and that was like the first kind of part of what we did, and then we refocused and did a lot of weddings, and it was just became a big part of our identity. And even now we're kind of shifting gears, and I mean, I'm sure you guys can attest to the fact that the wedding market has changed so much, and and it's quite frankly difficult. It's way more difficult as a vendor, as a venue owner, and a caterer. It's difficult to do some of the things that we did in the past, and just with all the things that everybody that probably you've talked to on your podcast have shared or complained about, like the cost of food and the cost of the staff and all of that.
Everything's gone up.
Yeah.
It's gone up, and when you're doing a proposal a year prior, and you're sort of basing your pricing on stuff that's 30% cheaper than it is now, it's like it's difficult. So you just have to make those adjustments.
But I think that's helps give like that realisticness to the viewers that are getting married, right? Like it changes on us. We're not in control of the pricing that is presented to us, right? Especially when it comes to food.
And especially when you're trying to deliver quality ingredients and deliver what you promised.
Yeah.
In your tasting, in your experience.
Absolutely. I mean, to get, again, it's like, sometimes more than a year out. And so, we've had to rely on some flexibility in the language in our contracts. Like if things are, you're having a sea bass, but there's a 30% increase on that, then there may be an adjustment or an alternative that you have to.
Alternative. I was going to say it comes down to choice. I know you want the sea bass, but like you can either pay for the sea bass if the price changes and if that's what you really want to have on your wedding day, or you have to shift.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're still going to. But the thing is, you're still going to have a good experience when they work with you.
Yeah. Whereas before we would just kind of like bite the bullet and oh my God,
deliver
it's
what
like
they asked for.
Expensive now, but we have to have that sort of protection and just flexibility and kind of like communicate that with the client up front. Everything, we've always kind of been like, or tried to be as transparent as possible and let people know this is what's up. And I think that almost everybody understands that. They're not like, hey, we locked you down at this price, and that's what we expect. And like I said,
well, I remember like when I was working at the club, being like, okay, I promised this price per plate, and then then my executive chef would be like, well, the salmon's gone up, like there's a shortage or something, and I'm like, but we promised him this price. What do I do? So it's nice, like the evolution of. And being, especially after COVID, to being honest of like, this is the realness of like pricing.
What it puts together to do this. Like if you're planning a corporate event, you're like maybe 2 weeks or a month out. Like they can come up so quick, so it's easy to price them.
Yeah.
And the thing that's tough about weddings is they also get emotionally attached to their menu, or like, oh, well, I had to have that because.
That's why we selected you, because of the.
Of course.
Right.
But you got to be realistic. The world keeps changing, and we have to keep up with it and. As well, right?
Well, the difference is, now we do, communicate that up front, and we have language about that in our contracts. I think so, and people are cool about it. I mean, we've like run into very, very few people with pushback, and before we would just eat it and be like, okay, well, it's like. It was 15 before, now it's 30 a pound, and so this one's not going to be that great.
That's not good for the bottom line.
No,
it's not. Yeah.
But so Très L.A. is also known for the details.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All the little details.
Early on, and this was kind of in my, travels and stuff. I went out of a hotel in London, and they were really big on. These like the little things that make a difference that, cost very little, very, very little to serve a glass of Prosecco for free when people come in, or have like a nicer, maitre d' butter or something like that, little things on the table, sea salt or whatever. And, and you just don't want everybody to feel like, okay, I'm here at, a wedding, and it's going to be crap wedding food.
Rubbery chicken and overcooked steak.
No, not at all. And we just don't do that. We don't want to do that. We don't like.
We can both attest to how wonderful your food is.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. We definitely. I mean, we have a phenomenally creative team that has been with us for a long time, and they do it right, and they know the expectations. So,
and they want to have fun with it too. Can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. So they want the details.
Absolutely, and it's just the fun presentation, the fun, little things that you add and little flourishes on the food, or even, in the environment, in the venues, that make such a big difference. And we call it the TNT, the tiny noticeable touches.
Oh, so, I love that.
Yeah.
It also brings.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Stand up.
No, please continue. But it brings a fine dining air to the experience, which a lot of weddings previously didn't have. That's something that I think is definitely developed, especially in the last 5 to 6 years. with much more of a focus on catering.
There is, and I don't know. I mean, and maybe this is our client base, but there is definitely a high expectation of food for since I started. People are into it. I love foodies. I love food. I love to talk about it. I love to come up with like cool different things that that are inspiring to the client, and so there's definitely more of, hey, what can we do differently? How can we be, different than the last, my best friend who got married last year, and we want to up the game.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that, and it's just fun. It's fun, like coming up with working with them to come up with cool concepts of doing
especially when you have the corporate clients that you have every year.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, we have their holiday party coming up. How can we make it more of a statement for next year to keep wow them.
Yeah. I personally did some planning for a few clients that are more friends than anything, and I just felt like I kept raising the bar. And the last event I did for them was at one of our venues at Carondelet House, and we were doing at the time this kind of 20s burlesque review. It was like this incredible experience called Nuit Blanche, where you would go into Carondelet House, check in your phone, and it was like this sort of kind of PG-13. It wasn't like a G kind of thing where you go to whatever. It was
I love that.
Definitely like a little, naughty, but
not overly.
all in super, super high-end taste. There was nothing gratuitous or anything like that at all. But anyway, so we were doing that, and so I had this party that I had done for years and years, and we did a version of that we shut down the street and spilled out into the front of Carondelet, the street that it's on.
Cool.
Shut it off and everything, and then it had a whole carnival out front too, with like a Ferris wheel and
that's such a perfect way to do that.
Like games and things like that, like carnival games.
I was just gonna say that. Can we please make a festival?
There was there is a school across the street, an elementary school that I rented the whole playground for, so we did all these
So you had that whole area out front too.
And the high strike and all of that. And then I was like, I got to drop the mic. I'm not going to do anything better than this. And it was kind of like it was so time consuming, and I had so many other things happening too that I was just like, you know what, I'm going to end here. And I handed off to an incredibly talented Orange Blossom, and they've been like killing it ever since.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Alan, it was so awesome to have you on the podcast. Like
Best stories.
Yeah, I could keep talking.
Yeah, I mean that was short and sweet. I thought we were gonna go for 2-3 hours. Come on.
I mean, we could.
Yeah.
Thank you for just being like a leader in catering, hospitality, and just overall in this industry.
Well, I am honored to be here, and you guys are absolutely the creme de la creme of, I mean, you do everything. You're the glue that holds, a lot of these markets together. So I have the utmost respect for you.
Oh, thank you.
So it's an honor to be here.
I'm looking like I'm not going to cry. Well, thank you so much. So thank you everybody for tuning into Wedding Day Podcast. We'll see you next time. See you. Bye.